Do you have some questions?
Okay. Do I ask you these questions?
I don't have them printed out, so if I had them printed out, I guess. And you tell me, don't stop, talk in between, middle, while I'm doing anything. Because it's going to be on recording.
Yeah.
If you talk, wait until like after a section.
Or else I'll be in the video. I got you.
Okay. So, I'm Patrick Winston Young, and I am, this is my video submission for Think Different Diplomats. In my own words, how do I define my LD and ADHD? For me, my learning disability is, I'm dyslexic to start with, but my learning disability is a deterrent, not deterrent. It's like if I had my feet in concrete, and I can never keep up with anybody else, and each step, it's labored, it takes forever, and it's difficult for me to move. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be able to get it done. It does mean, though, that it's going to take me more time. And because it takes me more time, I'm not your average kid. I've never got along with people in school, or nobody ever wanted to work with me on projects or anything like that. So, my disadvantage, my LD, it's more a time delay for me, and it makes me struggle, but it doesn't mean I can't get there. Question B. How do you define success? In my eyes, success is when you finish the day and you've achieved all the tasks at hand, when you've completed everything you needed to get done, and you can be proud of it because you did it well and you did it how it's supposed to be, and maybe you even did a little more than you're supposed to be. And that's just my day-to-day success. Success also means when you have a task or when you have a long-term objective, it's once you finish it, it's once you get to the end point, and you can be proud in what you've accomplished and done and how things went and worked out. To me, that is what success is. Question C. Please tell us a story that includes one or more of the following items. I'll probably just run through and do a couple of these because they're all pretty relevant and I enjoy telling my story. I'm going to start with, was there any ally, a parent, teacher, friend, or counselor who made a positive difference in my life? For me, the character, the person, the guide who has helped me the most through my life right now would be my mom. Because, like me, she's dyslexic, but she isn't as badly dyslexic as I am. She never had any or was never diagnosed, or she was never given any accommodations when she was growing up. And so, when I was diagnosed with it in the first grade, she kind of made it her goal that it's never going to hold me back. I can do everything just like the other kids, and she was going to do everything she could. And so it went from helping me read Harry Potter every night and getting through the book and teaching me words that I wouldn't understand, that the teachers at the schools I was at wouldn't take extra time to do with me because they had to keep on their class schedule, to typing all my papers for me, because even though I can't type it, it doesn't mean I don't have a story ready to escape just like everybody else. And so my mom would sit there and she would type everything out for me as I would describe it to her. And as a ADD, ADHD kid, you can probably imagine my thoughts weren't very coherent and they're jumbled and they're going every which way. But she was able to take apart what I was saying, even how fragmented it was, and put it into an actual paper. And I started to do better in my schoolwork. And she sat down and she read me all my stories that I would have to have for class. And she worked with me day and night to make sure that I could get to where I needed to be. And for over years of doing that, she helped me get to a place where I was capable of doing it myself. And at that point, she kind of stepped back. But I would never have made it that far if it wasn't for her helping me get to that point. The next question I'll go over next is, what was the key to unlocking your LD success? Like I said previously, I'm dyslexic and I can never read. I can never keep up with my classmates in reading books, or when I have to take a test, sit down, read all the answers. I just would need extra time, and time wasn't always given to me. I wasn't given accommodations through high school or middle school. But I lied. I did get a little bit in middle school when I switched to a school that specialized in LD students, but it still wasn't enough. And my success really came to me when I started thinking outside the box. I no longer said to myself, I need to sit here and read the story. I don't have to sit here and read the textbook to know what's happening. I get all the information I need from the lectures. So instead of putting all my energy into struggling and reading every day, I would just sit there and I concentrate as much as I could on the teacher, which would be difficult because every couple seconds something happens, squirrel, I lose attention, I'd have to look at something else, pay attention to something else, but I'd focus on the teacher and everything they said. And over long periods of time of me doing that, I no longer needed to go and read the book to remember anything, because I was able to remember everything from what my teacher would tell me. And instead of having to go back and read later, I'd go to my teacher and ask her, hey, can you give me some extra notes on what is happening here, or can you explain this to me in other ways? So really unlocking my LD is when I realized I'm an auditory learner, and I not being afraid to go and ask for a little bit extra help, because a little extra help will get you so much farther once you take the initiative to go and find it. And I'm going to do one more for question C, because it's kind of the whole point of this organization. It's, have you learned to advocate for yourself? If so, how has that changed your journey? Through middle school and when I was younger, I was bullied a lot. Not only could I not read, and I was kind of a social outcast because of that fact and being held back so many times. I didn't have a lot of friends from that, but along with that, I was largely overweight. I was a big kid. Doesn't mean I wasn't a fun kid, but I was teased a lot for it and treated badly, and people would joke me and get bullied on the playground and just ostracized in general. And so once I beat my learning disabilities, not beat them, I learned to cope with them and turn my disadvantages into advantages. I wanted to advocate myself and tell my story so it can help people that aren't so lucky, who haven't figured it out yet, so that down the line they don't have to go through the same struggles that I've journeyed through and had to conquer and beat. That's kind of the whole reason I'm doing this mission at all, because I want to help people, make people understand, and let people know that just because I have LD or I can't pay attention as well, it doesn't mean I'm not as intelligent or I'm not worth your time. And to prove and break the stereotype that just because I do have an LD doesn't mean I can't achieve anything, if not more, than what everybody else can regularly. And because of the fact that I do have this disability, I've created different processes and functions that will allow me to do better just because I've struggled, and because of that struggle I have more tools in my back pocket than or other people do. And to be honest, I'm thankful for that I do have these LDs, because I can think outside the box a little better than most people. And that's powerful for myself to remember I have. The final question, question D. As a child, if I had been given one LD wish, something that could have helped you to succeed, what would it have been? How could eye to eye have made the click for me when I was younger, 10 through 12 years old? 10 through 12 years old was a difficult time for me. Like I said, that was really when I started becoming overweight. I was going